thank you for tuning in. Today we are going to be starting the unit of geometry and we're going to work our way through the PowerPoint. So what I would like you to do is have your PowerPoint open as well, maybe on a split screen, so that you can follow along the PowerPoint with this video and also doing your working out as we go. So starting with how we describe angles. So we have an arm here and the other arm here, and when we are indicating which angle we are talking about, we use a little arrow to indicate the angle. This point here is referred to as the vertex of the angle. Okay, moving on. So when we are referring or labelling our angles, we label the end of each arm and the vertex. Whoops, that should be C. And then if we are referring to this angle, we would write this angle as A, B, C with our little umbrella over the vertex point. Okay, so this tells us that we're referring to A, B, C and the internal angle here. If we wanted to label A, B, C, but we were actually referring to the reflex angle, we would put our little arrow there and write it as A, B, C. Okay. Next thing we're going to look at is some important terminology that you need to become familiar with. So from a straight line, we refer to this as a revolution, and this is always going to be 360 degrees. On a straight line, we have 180 degrees always, and when we have a right angle, you should all know this, that is equal to 90 degrees. Excellent. Just going to wipe the board. Okay, so if we have three angles at a point, all of these angles we would know need to add up to 360 degrees. And if we have a straight line and we have two angles, we know that they would add up to be 180 degrees. If we have a right angle and we've split that into two angles, we know that A plus B would equal 90 degrees. So an example of all of these, if we had, this is our unknown angle, and we had this is 120 degrees, and this one was 135 degrees, we could do an equation to find out what A is equal to. So we know that A plus 120 plus 135 is equal to our 360. So then we do our equation, we say A plus 255 is equal to 360. And just like we'd solve any equation, we need to take 255 from both sides. So we're left with A equal to 360, take 255, which is 105 degrees. Okay, with our 180 degrees on a straight line, we are doing, if we had this one here and we were told that this was 60, and this was A, we would do A plus 60 equals 180. Solving our equation, we're going to take 60 from both sides, so A is equal to 120 degrees. And then similarly down here, if we had a right angle and we split that and we were told that this one was 30 degrees, this one was unknown, we'd have A plus 30 is equal to 90 degrees because it's a right angle. Take 30 from both sides, A is equal to 60 degrees. Okay, so there's some problems in the PowerPoint that you need to be able to solve. Right, there. Solutions have been provided, so I would like you to mark your work as well, please, as you go. Okay, final thing for today is vertically opposite angles, and this shouldn't be new. You should have remembered this from last year. But when we have two straight lines that cross, we know that the angles that are directly opposite each other or vertically opposite are equal. So we have x would be equal to x and 0 would be equal to 0. Okay, so a couple of applications of that. If we had this as x and this is 100 and let's go 60 degrees, we would know that x is equal to 160 because of vertically opposite, because of the vertically opposite rule. Okay, so a couple of questions there for you. That would be quite a straightforward question. A similar question, a little bit more complicated, might be look like this. If we're told that this is 120 and this is x and this is x. Okay, so now we're thinking, okay, how do we find x? Because there's two unknowns. But we can see that the two x's combined create the vertically opposite angle to 120. So our equation would become 2x equals 120. In fact, if you wanted to go back a step, we could say x plus x is equal to 120. Collect our like terms, 2x equals 120. Divide both sides by 2 to get x on its own, and we're left with x equal to 60 degrees. Okay, a couple of questions for you to do in sector on those as well, with some solutions provided. So once you've worked your way through those questions, I would like you to go on to Engelhardt and choose the topics that are most relevant from today's lesson and do 30 minutes of that for homework, please. See you tomorrow.